Hey everyone, let me go ahead and get into my culture audit of Iroquois High School. First of all, let me just give you a little bit of history of the school. So, our Iroquois didn't actually become a high school until 1965. The building had been there several years before that, but it was built as a middle school. So, the south end of Louisville was growing quickly, and the community figured out they needed another high school. So the building that is Iroquois High School now used to be Gottschalk Middle School. But anyway, it closed. They turned it into Iroquois High School, and it's here to this day. So our building is really strange. It's really long. The halls are very narrow. The lockers are small. It was made for little kids. It wasn't built to be a high school. It doesn't hold 1,400 students very well. And if you were ever to walk through the halls, you would see what we mean. Some of the questions on my audit um, had to do with what you see when you walk into the building. So the first impression of our school when you walk in is really well. It's a decent little lobby. As if you notice on some of these pictures, there's some murals on the wall that look like they're not quite finished yet. I mean, it's a really cool concept. It just, it just isn't all the way put together. And on the right hand side, on the bottom, this is actually the very first lobby that you see when you come in. Of course, it looks a little different now because we're set up to hand out Chromebooks and things like that for to parents during virtual learning. But you can see a display case on the back wall. A lot of potential to display some really cool stuff in there. However, you'll only really see a football jersey on the left hand side there from a alumni that plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's really all that you can make out in there. On the top picture on the right, that's the main office, and of course the lights are off because nobody was in the building, but just doesn't really have a good flow to it. Just doesn't really look very inviting. So that's what the front office looks like. We have an incredible front office staff, but the visuals are underwhelming. Um, it has the potential to be an awesome, inviting space. It's just we're just not there yet. And another question on my audit had to address the entrance that the students use. Well, I've walked past this entrance 1,000 times. I've walked in it, but I never really thought about what would go through my head as a student walking through this entrance. So here on the left hand side is the bus loading dock, and I would guess probably 80% of our students ride the bus, and that's where they get dropped off right there. So the building's old. It doesn't look very pleasing. The colors don't really make sense for our school. But anyway, the even though this we have staff out there that are friendly and inviting, greeting the students, um, it's not very pleasing to the eye. So on the right hand side, these are the steps that you go up as soon as you go in the building, and that's actually the back of the auditorium. So it's the auditorium lobby. Again, a beautiful space, nice tile floors. There's some beautiful tile on the wall, but there's just nothing there to display. You can kind of see uh, on the back right hand side of that picture, there's two glass display cases. And the only thing that's in there is some artwork from the art class. And our art teacher rotates different student artwork in there every few months. Probably she likes to change it out, but not a very inviting space. It's It's cold. It's kind of dark. Um, just not something I would be excited to see first thing in the morning. So we're starting the day off wrong. You know, there's just nothing in there that says, "Welcome to school. We're happy to have you here. I hope you have a great day." It's just not there. So another section of my audit asked me to walk the halls of the school and take notice where the mission and vision are displayed, or are they even displayed? And the short answer of that is no, it's not. But in our defense, we just created and updated our school mission and vision. Then COVID, shut down the school buildings. So we never really got a chance to create posters and hang them up around the school building. But I will say that prior to our new mission and vision, it wasn't really displayed anywhere that I can remember either. So I'm currently working with the admin team to make sure that our mission and vision is displayed everywhere when we return to the building. So, another fun fact about our school, and I've never measured this, but we've always heard that from the tip of the building to the other end of the building is a quarter of a mile long. I walked those halls, so I do believe it's probably true. But if we think about this, there's two sides to each hallway, and we have two floors. So we have a mile of wall space in the building, and that doesn't really include the gym, the cafeteria, the locker rooms, the auditorium, all of those common areas. So we have a mile of wall space that we're not using to the best of our ability. And if we're not displaying the school mission and vision, how can we ever expect how can we ever expect it to live in our building? If teachers don't know what it is, if students don't know what it is, how can we expect them to live it out? So here's just some photos of random places in the school. I'm not really sure about this picture on the left. I don't know what used to be there. Maybe some water fountains or something of that nature. But I mean, look at that space. That would be perfect to put a display case there, a trophy case, something to display student work. Um, but we're just not using the space the right way. On the right hand side is also on the second floor. It's just a shot down the hallway, and you'll notice one picture hanging up on the left hand side up there. But what you see in that photo is kind of consistent throughout the school. Got brown lockers, brown floor, kind of a beige wall, just not a lot of color there. Notice how tiny the lockers are. And you can't really tell from the picture, but those halls are very, very narrow. So if you could imagine 1,000 students trying to get through that hallway, um, it doesn't always work very well. Just a couple other photos, and again, excuse the lighting because nobody was in the building. But if we take a look at the left picture, that's down our freshman academy hallway, and again, just nothing on the walls. Doors aren't decorated, and again, I know we're not actually in the school building, but there's no color there. Just nothing to get excited about. And on the right hand side, just one of the stairwells in our building. How cool would that be to walk up those stairs and see our school logo, or have some sort of mural right there, or in the same instance coming down those stairs and seeing something right there. There's just a lot of wasted space or wall space in our building. Here's another photo of one of our many stairwells. just need some fresh paint. Um, ceiling could use some work. It looks like there was a poster or something there at one time that is removed, and you just see the big spot on the wall where it was. But how cool would that be to, display student of the week right there, or put our school crest there? You know, just just do something to give it some life. So, like our mission right now should be to make our building look like a school instead of a prison. And if our walls could talk. Um, so during this audit, made me think a lot about, what the hallways say to people, to the students, to the staff, like when we walk through the halls, what goes through our mind. Well, our school is pretty rich in culture and history, and the community is as well. But you would never really know it if you just walk through the school, unless you knew those few spots in the building that displayed some of that stuff. It's definitely not consistent. And we've had some improvements over the last year by adding some murals. The art department has painted some murals on the wall. We've had some art students from the University of Louisville come in, put some murals up, and it's definitely helped. But they just kind of seem out of place. Some of them don't really make sense. They're kind of inconsistent, but we should take the opportunity to celebrate our culture, our history, and our diversity. I mean, we have the most famous racetrack in the world right down the street from us in Churchill Downs, the Kentucky Derby, and University of Louisville is not far from us, and we have plenty of beautiful parks and landmarks around the school, some famous alumni, and we're not really displaying that in our school. So I think we need to use the things around us and in our community to build that sense of pride and have a school that the community is proud of, because I'm proud of our school, I'm proud of our community. I think we just need to show that a little bit more in the school building. So here's a couple. Actually, I'm going to show you a few murals that are around the school. So this top one was done at the beginning of last year. Took quite a while for the art students to complete it, but just looking at that, I mean, I see a lot of diversity in there, different religions in there, different cultures, different heritages, things like that, and that's one of the cool things. Um, in our school building. At one time last year, I think we had 35 to 40 different languages spoken at our school. I mean, we have one of the most diverse schools in the state, if not the most diverse school in Kentucky. And that's just one of the cool murals that we have up there. The bottom one is like some famous alumni that graduated from Iroquois. You might recognize Scotty Davenport, who is the head basketball coach at Bellarmine. Ed Hamilton is a world famous artist. We got Bryson Tiller down there. And if you're a music fan, you probably know who he is. We got ex NFL or NFL players. So there are some famous people that walk the halls of our school. And I think it's important for our students to walk by this every day and see this so they too can, have some motivation to know that, they can be the next Scotty Davenport, they can be the next Bryson Tiller. And I hope we keep adding people to this mural for years to come. Um, this top photo here. I mean, really cool artwork. I don't really understand it. Don't really know what the meaning is behind it. I mean, but it's definitely better than just the blank white wall that we used to have. Then, of course, the bottom picture is kind of self-explanatory. Just, welcome to the Raider Nation with our Raider Wolf right there on the wall. Okay, so speaking of the Raider Wolf, in our school symbols, so that was another issue to address in the audit. I feel like that we're not very consistent. Of course, this middle image is it's like a school crest, but the logo on the left is one that we use sometimes. The one on the right is one some sports teams use. So we're not very consistent there with our mascot. And this, I hesitated to put this in there, but so back when our school was created as Iroquois High School, the mascot was, of course, an Iroquois Indian, or the Fighting Raiders, as this image shows. But I stumbled across this in a storage closet in my baseball locker room about 2 years ago, and I was immediately offended when I saw it. Just the stereotypical images of Native Americans, what they're trying to portray here. But thank goodness we moved from this mascot to the Raider Wolf. I still don't totally understand where the Raider Wolf came from. And I've talked to people that have been in our school for a long time, talked to some people in the community, and nobody can really tell me uh, why or how we became the Raider Wolves, but definitely an improvement from this this fighting raider that used to represent our school. So what is a raider? So by definition, it's an aggressive, angry, violent person who is attacking their enemy. Is that really what we want to represent Iroquois High School? I personally don't think so. So anyway, like, what is a Raider Wolf? So I feel like automatically we're struggling with an identity. Um, but having said that, we're one of 4 schools in our district who are going to be getting a name change soon. And this is very early in the process, and I'm not really sure how long it takes or what exactly goes into this. But out of all 4 schools that are going to be changing their name, we're currently named after Native American tribes. So not much longer. We're not going to be the Iroquois Raiders or the Raider Wolves. Not really sure what we're going to be yet, but so maybe this will kind of help us create a new identity, and I'm actually kind of excited about that, to be honest. But um, so anyway, after doing my audit there, I was asked for some. Oh, I need to go back one section real quick. When one of the questions on this audit asked me, like, what strikes your eye as you walk into classrooms? Well, it's not necessarily stuff like this, but um, I guess a little over a year ago, under our previous administration, um, I was totally embarrassed to walk through the halls of my school. We had, I can't tell you how many broken windows. Blinds were just hanging off the windows. Doors were broken. Um, big cracks and gaps in the walls. Science labs with no equipment. Some teachers were still using chalk and chalkboards and stuff like that. So, um, we finally got new administration, and immediately they started doing some building audits, some safety audits, and one of our assistant principals walked through every single classroom, every single common area, every closet, every office, every locker room. I mean, you name it, and he was in there creating a list of things that needed to be fixed. And I'm not really sure why the district would never address these issues before, or if maybe we our new principal was just the squeaky wheel, or not really sure what happened there. But we're starting to see some changes. So all of our classrooms are getting, if they don't have a whiteboard, they're getting a whiteboard. And I know that doesn't sound very exciting or major to a lot of people, but when your school does without that stuff for so long, it's really exciting to see that and to get that. We're currently shifting to an academy model, so each academy in the building is going to be rebranded with their own colors, um, their own decorations and things like that. So that that's exciting. Um, but if you were to ask me a year ago what the walls say to me and what's important, I would say the message being sent is that the district does not care about our school, that the district doesn't care that we fail, the district doesn't care about our students, that the district wants us to fail. Definitely inequality in our school. There's a bunch of inequities. I don't see us getting the funding that other schools get. I don't see us getting the improvements that other schools get. And, that's really sad. So we finally have a principal that's willing to stand up for our students. And, he believes, and we all believe, that they deserve everything that a higher performing school would get. So we're starting to see those changes in the building now, but before, we were kind of left out there just to struggle and just to sink on our own. So sorry, I kind of got off on a little tangent there, but anyway, to kind of sum all this up, so here are my suggestions for improvement. Display the mission and vision in each academy, multiple places. So there should be no excuse why, our teachers don't know the mission and vision, why students couldn't tell you where to find the mission and vision if they don't know it. So to place that in each academy, multiple locations, display the mission and vision in each classroom, of course, smaller versions of our posters, to put that mission and vision in locker rooms, in the cafeteria, in the auditorium, outside the sports facilities, because as students and student athletes, if we don't know our mission and vision, how can we live it? How can we make it a living thing? Maybe not necessarily create more space because we have a lot of it, but maybe utilize the space differently to display student artwork. If a student achieves, has some sort of achievement like an ACT score, or maybe they finished a course early, or something, use some of those areas to display that. Give students something to look forward to be proud of, and maybe work towards getting on that wall too. I would ask that we just paint the school. I mean, I don't know how this works, but ask for funding or building mods or something. The inside of our school looks like a prison. It looks like a correctional facility, and that needs to change. It just really does. So I would ask that the students can help decorate, help paint, vote on academy colors for their academy. So we want the students to be involved in this. Display student of the week. We have like 40 stairwells in our building, and as I said before, a mile of wall space. Why aren't we displaying highlighting a student of the week or a couple students from each academy. Can't really figure out why we're not doing that. I think I would get the students involved in making the morning announcements, reciting the pledge. Let the students be involved and take ownership of the things that are going on in their school and after school. I think that'd be really important. Of course, whatever our mascot is going to be, let's be consistent and not use many different versions. Let's pick a mascot that makes sense. Just to kind of get rid of that confusion. And lastly, I think it would be a good idea to, when available, get some student aides to work in the front office, be there to greet visitors, a warm welcome, and let these students give visitors tours of the schools, kind of show them around. But just get the students involved and let them own the school building that they're in every single day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.